أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وصحابته المنتجبين. صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله، صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة ويا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة يا مظلوم يا شهيد يا غريب كربلاء، يا ليتنا يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. A second for the love of Imams al-Hassan wal-Husain. A third salawat for the love of Fatima al-Zahra with your loudest voices. We are taught ever since we are children by our parents, in the community, in the society that we live in, that one of the most prestigious jobs to have as an adult is to become a doctor. Parents teach their children ever since they're young to try to become doctors. And being a doctor is a dream for many youth, especially children as they grow up. Their dream is to become doctors. Some, as they grow older, they pursue this dream and they apply to medical schools and they get accepted and they study for many years. In the United States of America, you have to study for a minimum of 10 years. Of course, in Europe, it's a bit less, up to maybe 5 years or 6 years. But in the United States of America, I don't know about here in Canada, you have to study for at least 10 years in order to become a doctor. And these 10 years are extremely strenuous. They're difficult. You spend these entire 10 years studying, reading, sleepless nights, not a lot of fun. You have to take many loans that you will have to pay later on once you graduate and once you work. Some have to delay marriage. They delay their wedding and marriage just for the sake of becoming this very prestigious, receiving this very prestigious job, which is being a doctor. Of course, being a doctor also pays off. The salary and the income is not like the salary of an ordinary job or other jobs. It has a good salary. It has a good income. For some, the motivation is to make a good job. The motivation of studying for 10 or more or less years to become a doctor is to receive a good salary. Of course, for some, it's not just the financial income, but it's the reward. The job of a doctor is very rewarding because it means you will be saving people's lives. People's lives might be in danger. They might be on the verge of dying. A person with cancer or a person with heart disease, a doctor can save that person's life, can allow that person to live an extra 10 years or an extra 20 years. This is rewarding in itself to see a person, to rescue a person's life. This is very rewarding. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says that He who rescues the life of one person is as if He's rescued the life of entire humanity. He who gives life to one person is as if He's given life to the entire humanity. وَمَنْ أَحْيَاهَا فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. It is extremely rewarding to save a life in Islam. Only Allah knows the reward that a person receives for rescuing and saving a human life. In the community, we see that doctors hold a special position, a special status in the community. We don't call doctors by their first names. We always have to call them by their doctors. Dr. so-and-so. Because we respect them. We honor them. When a doctor enters into our gatherings, into our homes, we honor them. We respect them. We give them special seats. We give them special privileges. Only to show that this position, this job, is greatly honored in our community, in our society, and even in our religion. The Prophet ﷺ and the Imams, they themselves would teach medicine. They would teach medicine. Alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah. And there's a well-known hadith that says, Al-ilmu ilman, ilmu al-adyan wa ilmu al-abdan. That knowledge is of two kinds. The knowledge of religion and the knowledge of our bodies. Meaning, the knowledge of our bodies means the knowledge of science. The science of medicine, the knowledge of medicine, of curing our bodies. The Ahlul Bayt emphasized on the science of medicine. They themselves would teach medicine. That is why today we have in Islamic science, we have a special science called Tibbul A'imma, the medicine of the Imams. Rasulullah would teach medicine. Amir al-Mu'mineen would teach medicine. Imam al-Sadiq would teach medicine. Al-Imam al-Rada would teach medicine. All of our science, all of our Imams taught the science of medicine. They would teach how to cure. For every ailment, for every disease, virus, sickness, and illness, they had a cure. They had a medicine. Unfortunately today, I see that there are some that question and debate the medicine of the Imams. They say that this is not divinely inspired. The Imams would give these cures and medicine from their personal knowledge, based on the circumstances, based on their society. Thus, this medicine that they provided in the past is not applicable today. It is not applicable today. And we cannot use it today. Today we have to refer to modern doctors. This, of course, is undermining the Ahlul Bayt and their knowledge and their sciences. The Ahlul Bayt, when they speak, their speech is divinely motivated and inspired. The Ahlul Bayt, when they speak, it's coming from Allah Azza wa Jal. And it was not just for a certain time. Proof of that is those who take advice from the Ahlul Bayt and they practice طب الأئمة, they see the cure even till today. Thus, it wasn't just something 14 centuries ago or 13 centuries ago. It's something that is applicable even till today. When we look at the field of medicine, we see that the founders of medicine were Muslim. They were Muslim scholars. Ibn Sina had a book called al-Qanun fi al-Tibb, the canon on medicine. This book was taught in European universities for 400 years. When Western civilization expanded and advanced, they advanced on the achievement of Muslim scholars and the achievement of the Islamic civilization, the Islamic world. The Western civilization, Europe, was benefiting in the field of medicine from Muslim scholars such as Ibn Sina, Ibn Rushd, and others. Today, there's hundreds of thousands of Muslim physicians and doctors, not only in the Middle East, but in Europe, in America, and Canada. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Today, in the field of science, in the field of medicine, we have certain controversies and certain topics and issues that have been raised for the past couple of years, maybe even the past decade or two. These topics in the field of medicine, known as medical ethics, are extremely controversial, not just among Muslims, but even non-Muslims, even amongst Westerners. These topics are extremely controversial. What are they? What are these topics? What are these issues? What are these concerns? These are medical procedures that have ethical questions, that have been questioned ethically. Are they right? Are they wrong? What should we do in such cases? Thus, tonight, in the next couple of minutes, I'd like to raise awareness regarding these medical, ethical issues, and to see what does Islam say about medical ethics, what does Islam say about these issues, so that perhaps we may reach a conclusion. Muslim doctors need to know these issues, because they are doctors and they will definitely face these controversies and issues, and they need to know what is Islam's stance. Today, we have thousands of Muslim students studying in the West, becoming doctors. They need to know these issues. They need to know where Islam stands from these highly controversial issues, so that they may know where they stand and what position they should take when it comes to these issues. There are some doctors that are only afraid of legal matters. They are afraid of getting into legal trouble, while they don't care about getting into religious trouble. No, these are some issues and controversies that can get you in religious trouble as well. What are they? Let us open our minds and hearts and dwell into the subject tonight. Wa sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. One of the very important questions that is raised in the field of medicine and is considered one of the fundamental issues on medical ethics is the subject of death. When is a person considered dead? When his brain stops working, when a person's brain stops working, or when a person's heart stops working. Because there are several cases in which a person, his heart might be still beating. This person might still be breathing, yet his brain is fully dead. Do we consider this person alive or dead? This is a controversial issue. When a person goes into coma, when a person goes into comatose, there's two states. There's two states that this person could be in. One state is called the persistent vegetative state, meaning that this person, his brain is not fully dead. Right now this person is in a state of coma, in a state of comatose. His brain is dying, slowly is dying. And there's a chance that this person can come back to life and wake up and presume life just as he was before going into coma. This is one state. Another state is called the brain stem death, in which the brain is fully dead, and cannot recover. This person is in a state of comatose, is in the state of coma. He's still breathing. His heart is still beating, yet his brain is completely dead. This is called brainstem death. Now this brainstem death has been questioned. That is this real death or not? This question arose approximately 40 years ago when scientists and researchers discovered that there's a state that human beings can reach called brainstem death, in which the brain will completely die and there is absolutely no chance of him coming back, or the chance is very, very small, maybe 1 or 2%. The chance of not coming back to life is approximately 98%. Thus, this person, his brain is dead. This person only looks alive. However, he is dead. And the rest of the organs, because the brain is dead, the rest of the organs begin to die as well. The kidneys, the liver, the pancreas, all the other organs begin to die because the brain has died. The only organ that remains alive is which organ? The heart. Why? Because this person is put on life support. This person who is brain dead is put on life support. He's put on a ventilator which helps him breathe. Because there's a machine that helps him breathe, the heart keeps pumping blood. Now, in some countries, this person who becomes into this state, the state of brainstem death, this person is considered legally dead. In some countries, like the United Kingdom, England, and some other countries, this person is pronounced dead, even though he's still breathing, even though his heart is still pumping blood, even though he's still breathing, and he's still alive, he looks alive, and is still in the hospital, sleeping on the bed, yet this person is legally considered dead. That means his family can go and divide up his wealth, divide up the inheritance, and receive inheritance. This person is put on life support. And I'm sure that many of you have heard of such cases. There are many people, we have received many questions on this subject, that if this person is brain dead, and there is absolutely no chance of him coming back to life, or the chance is very, very minimal, 1 or 2%, do we have to keep this person on life support or no? Do we have to keep this person on the machine and allow him to breathe? Or no, we don't have to. We can, as they say, pull the plug and allow him to die. This is a question. And in many cases, the doctors will come and ask the family of this patient, that do you want to keep this person on life support? Or do you wish for us to pull the plug? And in many cases, the family members, they have to make a decision. And there are some family members, because they are not Islamically educated on this subject, some of them, they say, yes, go ahead and pull the plug. If this person is legally dead, if our relative is legally dead, then you may go ahead and pull the plug. This is one question. Is it allowed to pull the plug on this person who is brain dead but his heart is still alive? This is the first question. Number two, now among the questions that arise is that can we donate this person's organs? Because the hospital managers and the doctors, they will come to the family members and will tell them that as long as this person is still alive and some of his organs are still functioning, come and donate his organs. Perhaps there's a person who is in need of a heart transplant, or a kidney transplant, or a pancreas or liver, or I don't know what other organ transplant. There's people that are in need of transplant. Come and donate the organs of this person to someone who's in need of a transplant. Is this allowed? Is this halal? Does Islam give an okay on this or not? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. There are some in the Western world, there are some scientists that argue, this is the first opinion, they argue that yes, we should pull the plug. Number one, we should pull the plug on this person who is brain dead. And number two, we should donate his organs. Even though he's still alive, we should donate his organs. Why? Number one, this person is dead. You think that this person is alive. Just because his heart is pumping blood, it doesn't mean that he's alive. His brain is dead. This gift that God has given him, this most valuable gift, now it's gone. And because he's brain dead, there is no chance of him coming back. There's no chance of him coming back. That's number one. He's dead already. This person is not a person any longer. That's why they say this person is just like this wall, just like this rug, just like a couch or a vegetable. This person is a vegetable now. He's not even a person. He's not even a human being now. He's just like a balloon that has air coming in and out. That's it. He's not a person any longer. This is one. Two, there is no chance of recovery whatsoever. This person will never recover. This person will remain sleeping. If we keep him on a life machine, this person will remain sleeping for 100 years. This person will never come back to life. So what's the point? Why keep him on life support? That's two. Number three, this person is suffering. Just putting him there, sleeping in a hospital bed, not being able to get up, not being able to see his relatives and friends and family members and children. This person is suffering. Why don't we end the suffering of this person by pulling the plug? Let's bring him peace. Number four, let's benefit from his organs. Why let this person go to waste and his organs go to waste when there is someone who can benefit from his organs? Someone who can benefit from his heart, from his kidneys, from his liver. This person is no longer going to need these organs. So as long as he still has functioning organs, of course, when a person is declared brain dead, his organs will slowly begin to die. Thus, family members and doctors only have maybe 3 hours, 4 hours to make a decision. Because if they wait longer, these organs will die. Thus, family members have to make a quick decision. Do they wish to donate those organs or not? Maybe they have 2 or 3 hours. If they wait longer, the organs will die. Thus some say, why let these organs die while someone else can benefit from them? Someone else, you can save someone else's life. This person is not going to come back any longer. And number 5, their argument is that by keeping this person alive, by keeping this person on life support and on the machine, on the ventilator, you're only draining the economy. You're draining the resources. You're wasting money. This person is not going to come back to life. You're wasting a lot of money on a person who's not going to come back to life. Instead, use this money on someone else who has a bigger chance of survival. Use this money and resources on someone else who has a chance of living. This is the argument. Of course, for any family to come and tell them that come and pull the plug on your family member, this is very difficult, because that family member looks alive. He's still breathing. He's still sleeping. It's very difficult for that family to come and pull the plug on that relative, or even come and donate his organs. It's a very tough decision. I was reading an article about a family who had an 18-year-old daughter. This 18-year-old daughter was taking antidepressants. She overdosed on the antidepressants. She went into a coma. They brought her to the hospital. The doctors, as soon as they saw her, within an hour, they pronounced her dead. But which dead? Brain dead. They came and told her parents that your daughter is brain dead. And there is absolutely no chance of her coming back to life, because she has reached brainstem death, the second state, not the first, not the persistent vegetative state, but brainstem death, in which she can no longer come back. Now, of course, this came as a shock for them. And then the doctors came and said, donate her organs. Now that we just pronounced her dead, you have about 3 or 4 hours, as long as the other organs are functioning. Donate her organs. Of course, the parents refused. This was a very difficult decision for them, and they refused. And they kept their daughter on life support. And then what happened was that she was in a hospital in the intensive care unit with 8 beds. Someone else, another patient, was brought to that hospital who could have survived, who could have lived, but there was no room in the hospital. Why? Because there were 7 other patients, and this young lady, the 18-year-old, she was sleeping on the 8th bed, and her parents refused to pull the plug, even though there was no chance of her coming back to life. There was no chance of her recovering. There was another person who needed a bed in the intensive care unit, who had the chance of survival, but there was no place for him. By the time that they took him to another hospital, what happened to him? He died. Now, there's a campaign to teach families that if your relative or loved one goes into a state of comatose and is brain dead, pull the plug. Make room for someone else. This is one opinion. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. The opposing opinion says that, number 1, who are you to take someone's life? Who gave you the authority to take someone's life and to play God? This person is still alive. This person is still in a state of coma and sleeping. Who are you to come and take his life away? Number 2, who said that this patient cannot recover? Who said? How many times do doctors make mistakes? A lot of times. A lot of times a doctor says something and then it turns out to be a mistake. How many times do doctors diagnose some patients with cancer and it turns out that that person doesn't have cancer. Or a doctor diagnoses a person and says that he doesn't have cancer while he turns out to have cancer. Thus, can doctors make mistakes or no? Yes, they can make mistakes. This is possible. Thus, who are you to say that this person will never recover and that we should pull the plug because this person will never recover? No. Science is always evolving. Doctors are always learning something new. Who said that this person cannot recover? And number three, who said this person is suffering? Who said he's suffering? You're assuming that he's suffering. Perhaps he's sleeping and he's having good dreams. Who are you to say that this person is suffering? Maybe we that are alive now, we are suffering more than this person who is in the state of coma. Now, what does Islam say? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Islam says that we cannot end a person's life. Islam says that as long as this person is breathing, we cannot end his life. Because death is the death of the heart, not the death of the brain. Islam says that as long as a person's heart is working, this person must be kept alive. This person still has a spirit, still has a soul. Yes, there are exceptions. One exception is that if this person, we definitely know that this person is not going to come back to life, is not going to recover. If a group of doctors, they come and they say, this person is definitely not going to come back to life. And at the same time, this person is taking room in a hospital while another person has the chance of survival but doesn't have a place at the hospital. And that person might die or is going to die because of this brain stem death patient. Yes, scholars here say that this person is more important. This person who has a chance of survival, if we don't put him in the hospital, he will die. While this person has no chance of recovery, then here, because Islam says choose what is more important, perhaps some scholars might say, then let's give precedence to this person who has a chance of survival. This is one issue. This is one of the issues of medical ethics. There are other issues as well. Perhaps in the coming nights, inshallah, we shall address them and talk about them. Controversial subjects on medical ethics. وصلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Tonight I'd like to conclude, my dear brothers and sisters, with a special lady, with a special woman, and that is al-Baneen. al-Baneen, the mother of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, who played a very major role in Karbala. Even though she was not in Karbala, al-Baneen played a major role. She had 4 sons. She had 4 of her children in Karbala who supported Imam Hussein and who fought with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Baneen gave 4 of her sons. When the caravan of Imam Hussein came back from Karbala to Medina, a man by the name of Bishr, he came out and he started saying, Ya ahla Yathrib la muqama lakum biha, قتل الحسين فأدمعي مدرار. Oh, the people of Yathrib, come out. There is no room for you to stay in Medina anymore. The grandson of Rasulullah has been killed. The people of Medina, they came out asking for their loved ones, for the deceased, for the dead. One of those who came out was Baneen. al-Baneen alayhi salam, she came out and she asked Bishr, she said, Ya Bishr, inform me about my beloved Hussein. Bishr said, subhanallah, this lady has lost 4 of her sons. 4 of her sons. But she asks about Imam al-Hussein. He said, I told her, I offer my condolences, Ya al-Baneen, on the loss of your son, Abdullah. She said, I didn't ask about my son, Abdullah. Tell me about my son, Hussein. He said, I offer my condolences on your son, Ja'far. She said, I didn't ask about Ja'far. I asked about my son, Hussein. He said, I offer my condolences on your son, Uthman. She said, Fida'an lil Hussein, may they be a sacrifice for my son, Hussein. Inform me about my son, Hussein. He said, عظم الله لك الأجر بولدك أبي الفضل العباس. I offer my condolences on your son, Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. She said, you are damaging my heart, you are breaking my heart. Inform me on my son Hussein. He said, عظم الله لك الأجر. I offer my condolences on your son Hussein. al-Baneen fell on the ground. She started saying, Wa walada wa Husaina. al-Baneen would come to Baqi'. In Baqi' she had 4 graves, 4 figurative graves for her sons, because she could not come to Karbala. She had made 4 graves for her sons in Baqi'. She would come sit on their graves from morning till night, crying for her sons. One day, Sayyidah Zainab was sitting in her house, crying for her brothers, not allowing anyone to enter. They heard a knocking on the door. They asked, who is on the door? Who is behind the door? She said, I am part of you. I am also mourning. Sayyidah Zainab said, allow her to come. She is part of us. al-Baneen entered the house. When she saw Sayyidah Zainab, she said, Wa waladah wa Husayna. Sayyidah Zainab returned the shout. She said, Wa akha wa Abbasa. لا تدعوني ويك al-Baneen تذكريني باليوث العرين 4 مثل نسور الربا قد واصلوا الموت بقطع الوتين. نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا الله. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته، ولا هما إلا فرجته، ولا عيبا إلا سترته، ولا خوفا إلا آمنته، ولا رزقا إلا بسطته، ولا شملا إلا جمعته، ولا مرضا إلا شفيته، ولا غائبا إلا حفظته وأدنيته، ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة لك فيها رضا ولنا فيها صلاح إلا قضيتها ويسرتها يا أرحم الراحمين. ولأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والعلماء والشهداء نقرأ سورة الفاتحة مع الصلوات.